YouTube. Yeah, so sorry, the computer normally beeps out when I start. So, going through some more distortion pedals. This is, I didn't do what I normally did, and I actually looked up to see what this was. It's an expensive distortion pedal, so my expectations are high. As usual, I'm using a different guitar and a different amp, so I'm using the peavey G 112, the 86 Ibanez Roadster RG 140. No pedals on, nothing on, so it's sounding like this. There's reverb on. Yeah, so this is a REVV G3, made in Canada, boutique distortion pedal. So we've got bass, middle, treble, a 3-band EQ on the top. I suppose we'll centerise all of them. Volume, gain, and an aggression switch for red aggression, blue aggression, or no aggression. So I'll go for no aggression to start off with and see what we're getting. I've really no idea what to expect from this, apart from the fact I expect it to be good. I'm using this guitar because it's an HSS, so I've got a humbucker. Humbucker in the bridge. And then position 4 was when I was using it at the gig. So let's see what happens. Less volume. Still sounds very single coily on the bridge. And then it sounds very humbuckery on the humbucker. It sounds quite sharp and trebly, but obviously there's an EQ, so I can EQ that down a little bit if it comes in. What a difference that makes. Already it sounds expensive and good. It's a nice distortion. It says in the thing on whatever site I looked up, it's meant to be like an amp type distortion. Yeah, totally. Try aggression blue. Okay, let's ramp things up a little bit. Try the red one. That's single coil. You can really hear the difference with this pedal, letting the sound, the rat, which is my usual, quite noisy, the red and the blue though. So I find I'm using the fuzz and the rat, maybe not that much difference going between the humbuckers and the single coils, whereas this seems to be very obviously single coil when you're single coil and humbuckery. Red. turning it so that all the knobs in the amp are at 12 o'clock. That was at 1 o'clock. The treble was there. So that's a bit, I think, just because I had the treble and the amp up a little bit. So that's it now. 12 o'clock's across the board. We've got to see what it does. I'll go back to the middle mode. Both of them seem to be a bit noisy, but so's the rat pedal. So what happens if you crank the gain up to full whack? Middle. Red. Oh. So, I would be put off a little bit by the price, but it does sound really good, doesn't it? It's really letting through, I don't know, so I should really have a big list of words I'm not allowed to say, like transparent, and I can't think of any other ones, but you know the words I mean. Really hearing what it sounds like. It's kind of one of those pedals where everything's very adjustable, but at extremes it doesn't seem to be useless, if that makes sense. You know, some pedals you sit there and you faff about with the EQ, and it's like, well, it only sounds, the bass only sounds good between 11 and 12 or something, whereas this one seems to have a very big range, and it still sounds good, just different. Take away all the bass. All the bass. subtle controls. You can subtle or accurate depending on how you look at it. Yeah, so I'm going to cut it at that because I'm not good at demoing pedals because I don't really use very many pedals. But I mean, if I only had one pedal, that would be fine. That would definitely give me all the distortion-y things I want. I think maybe when you get to the sort of more boutique-y couple £100 pedals, you're really talking about. I'm actually playing through high-end stuff, or maybe not expensive stuff. I mean, this guitar's kind of as good a guitar as you can get, really. Totally is. All valve, peavey amp. You know, it's like it's not boutique level stuff, but whereas the pedal is. I mean, it's like the pedal costs more than the guitar did, but there is a difference. You know, it's like I've done plenty of demos of, like, you know, your wee sort of your Moskies and your what's the company I'm thinking of? A Moon. No, still not the one. What's the one that's you can also Joyos, things like that. I mean, they're great for what they are, but they don't sound like this. There is a difference. It's like there's no way you're going to pick up a, you know, like a £100 Squire or £100 guitar and go aye, and then play a £1,000 one, and then they're going to sound exactly. You know, the £1,000 one's going to be better. Maybe not magnitudes better, but it's going to be better. Same thing kind of runs with this. So it's all in the detail, and this seems to be like a sort of a very fine tunable version of the one sound. You know, if you just 12 o'clock everything, it's like it's totally. I would just use that as it is. More distortion here. Well, that one's got a wee bit more oomph to it. A bit more. I feel a wee bit like, see if you went in and tried, if I went to like a wine tasting place, you know, where you're checking out all the expensive wines, I'm pretty sure I could tell the difference between like a £6 bottle of wine and a £50 bottle of wine, sort of thing. I'm not really into wine, apart from Bucky, that would win, but it's like, you can tell, even the amateur pedally person knows that it's a good one. I mean, it's great, but it seems to be letting through an awful lot more of the guitar sound. I think it's like, it feels very. I'm just looking for buzzwords, haven't I? Yeah, I like it. It's really good. It's like a really good amp. I have to say, I'd probably just be using it without the hiss. It is a wee bit like a better button now. Marvellous thing. Again, one of those ones that I don't think it's ever really liked to be in my collection. Cheers T-Gun for lending me this. He's mad into his pedals. And again, it's one of those things, I remember hearing before about the thing about guitars is a top of the range guitar is very, very expensive. You know, if you're like, oh, I want the top of the range guitar, you're up at $5,000 or something stupid like that. You want the top of the range amp, it's thousands and thousands of pounds. Whereas a top of the range pedal is like 250, 300 quid. I mean, I'm sure you can get ones that cost more than that. You can go and try and find a Klon or something. But if you're trying to find like a new one, so you can actually have a still excellent but not boutique level guitar and amp, and then have the most expensive pedal. I can sort of see that. You know, you want the best of the best. Which it does. I mean, I totally dig it. It's great. Maybe if I won it in a competition, I would certainly play it use it for a couple of weeks, but I'd probably sell it because it's a couple £100, and I don't need a couple £100 pedal. I'm quite happy just with my Rat. I'm a pure Luddite when it comes to these things. Yeah, that's 5 minutes since I said goodbye. So. Rock on, I'm just about to do another pedal as well. I don't know when that video will come out. This is Thursday. Thursday's always a quiet day, so that's what I put out. Videos that are maybe a little bit less interesting. I don't know. I feel a wee bit out of my depth doing pedals. Even though I do like them, I don't know enough about them. It's like one of those, you know, where your level of expertise lies, and it's like mine kind of, not saying it's expertise, but I'm into the 80s Japanese guitars. I kind of know quite a lot about them. Don't really know much about really anything else, even amps. Kind of got an amp, that's fine. But I do totally appreciate that other people have a different way of looking at things. It's like maybe they've got two guitars. I've got a Les Paul and a Strat. I don't need anything else. But they've got 20 pedals or 50 pedals or 10 amps and stuff like that. Well, yeah, totally. Whereas I'm kind of more one amp, one pedal, 20 guitars type. But I mean, there is no right and wrong. Actually, T-Gun I think's got lots of guitars, lots of amps, and lots of pedals. So it's like that's ultimately the best way of doing it, is to have lots of everything. I've got lots of guitars, more than lots of guitars, not lots of amps. I managed to get rid of one, so I'm now down to, well, I'm not counting that. I like that because it's made in Coat Bridge. So I've got my Sovtech for my main amp, and I've got a wee Laney. Now I've got an Orange and that, which I didn't buy intentionally, the peavey thing. They're good gigging amps. I'm sitting here thinking I don't need that many. I need 2 amps. I need the Sovtech for doing gigs. I need the wee Laney for in here. Anything else is just extra, not needed. But there's not needed. I don't need it. Ultimately, I don't need this many guitars. If I only had one guitar and it was this one, it would kind of do. Well, I need a bass guitar as well, but you know, it's kind of, there's not really anything this doesn't do that any of these other ones do, sort of, really within reason. Well, they do inspire you to play differently, which I think is the same with the pedals. You might find, I mean, I think that's why T-Gun likes to buy lots of pedals and stuff like that. He'll buy it, mess about with it for the afternoon, and it will inspire him to write a riff. Whether it sounds any different from if he'd written a riff with using other pedals or other guitars and stuff, that's not the point. The thought of playing this guitar through that amp would make me play a certainly different way from one that was just a guitar that was, even if it was technically very, very similar, it might not be. If it was white, maybe I'd play it differently, so it would sound different, even though, you know, on an oscilloscope everything's identical. Different colour, it can just make you, just inspire you to do something a little bit different. This I think would just be, I don't think you need any, you wouldn't need any more distortion. I wouldn't. I'd be quite happy just to run that as my only distortion sound. Easily play a whole gig just with that one sound. Pretty much any of the ones I've been fidgeting about with. It's not a case of, oh, there's lots of different, well, to my ears, there's not lots of really different sounds. There's just one really good sound that's, you can vary it all over the place if you're really that into. Scott probably could make different sound out of it.